know the last couple of years, after you got out of high school, you've really been on the march, so to speak. You had a privilege to go to Puerto Rico, and you stayed there how long? About a month?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a privilege invited to go to Hong Kong, and you got to go to the assembly there, and that's quite a ways. And even, I believe, you went and got to travel over and see in Beijing the bridge, and you said that was hard to climb. But we know that most of us know here that you went over to Tanzania in East Africa, and you stayed, what, around 5 months?
Yeah.
And that's quite a ways from home, isn't it?
It's a little bit.
But we wanted to find out some of the things that you enjoyed while you were there. I know we only have about 9 minutes left to do that, but maybe we can go over a few picture slides. You explain to us what each one of them says, so I hope that everybody can see. And we'll start off with picture number 1. What is this picture, or what's happening here in this particular picture?
So this is Salama. It was somebody who was turned over to me. Her study was turned over as soon as I got to Tanzania. And I had the privilege of being able to study with her, and she was baptized 3 months later. And I went out in service with her in her first door. She listened to me for the first time, and then she took every single door for the rest of the day.
That sounds like a person who first get baptized, they want to take everything, slow them down. What a privilege. You keep in touch with her now a little?
No, I can't. She doesn't have internet.
Okay. Well, you're certainly happy to be a part of her progress towards baptism. Picture 2. Where is this, Jamie? It looks like a bunch of people sitting around either eating or talking or studying or something. What is that?
So this is right outside of the Kingdom Hall after the Sunday meeting. If you look, there's a study going on. A couple is studying with somebody. And then if you look in the background, there's another picture. And there's another person in the back, they're studying. So after the meeting, normally after the watchtower, everybody just picks up their chair that they had during the meeting and they take it outside, and you have Bible studies going on for hours after the meeting. And if you look, you see there's just dirt and sand everywhere. It's not the cleanest environment, but nobody cares because everybody's doing their studies.
So they're not anxious to get home, they're anxious to learn. I believe you said that someone that's not even baptized might be conducting the study with someone else that's not baptized. Explain that.
Yeah, Salama, the one who wasn't even baptized yet, she had her own study that she would conduct after the meetings.
So going to the Kingdom Hall, walking and getting there, and then the 2 hours plus 2 hours or so afterwards, they're gone just about all day. And Jehovah certainly appreciates that, and you can study anywhere then according to that. Appreciate that. Number 3, we know the brothers and sisters engage in all types of witnessing, and one, it's mentioned that we do here now in Knoxville. What's happening there in Tanzania?
So this is cart witnessing that they do downtown, and they started it up while I was there, and I just got the latest statistics on Tuesday, and so I'm going to read them to you.
Let me stop you there. Listen to this, the numbers.
So 5 months ago it started, there was over 80,000 pieces of literature placed in these 5 months, and over 400 studies have been started. In 2 days, this just happened this past weekend, in 2 days between 23 regular pioneers, they placed 9,366 magazines, and so that's 407 magazines per person in 48 hours.
Sister Taylor, that beats your record. Certainly Jehovah provided, and the work is increasing there, and I'm sure you'll hear more good results than the rest of us as we continue to keep up with Tanzania, because it's become our second home here. You know, we've had the Smith and 3 or 4 others go there, and so we're proud of that. Number 4, what are you doing here, Jamie?
So this is when a Muslim school had just let out. One of the teachers invited me over to come and talk to them. And so they had just learned a song in English, so they sang their song to me in English. And then I was able to teach them God's name was Jehovah. And we talked for a while. And another instance where I was able to go into a school, it's so different than here, because here you can barely go pick up your own child from school. There's so many rules and regulations. Whereas there, you just walk straight into the school. All the kids would run up to you, I was able to write and teach something on the board. I don't remember what it was that I taught him. It was probably something wrong. And then, one of the kids, he remembered my name. 2 weeks later, he saw me on the street, and he was hitting his friend. He was saying, there's Dada Jamie, there's Dada Jamie. And they remembered me from 2 weeks before.
Well, great. They'll remember you. Maybe someday you'll have a chance to say hello to them again, we hope. Picture number 5. What's going on here? It looks like...
So this is the mother of the compound that I lived on. We were working on the Kingdom Hall one day, and we were trying to figure out how to dry the spackle. So she went home and got her hair dryer, and she dried the entire Kingdom Hall with her one hair dryer.
Well...
And she looks thrilled.
Don't the Bible say Jehovah provides? I wonder if they had to provide her a new hairdryer after that. Anyway, what effort, and we take for granted here so much in this part of the world, but Jehovah loves those people, and Jamie was a part of it. You get a chance to meet ones like that. What about, what are we seeing here? Picture number 6, water all over the place.
So this is the Kingdom Hall cleaning. Whereas here we use mops and buckets to clean the floors. They just take water and dump it on the floor, and then they use their brooms and sweep out the soapy water. And they do that normally after every Sunday meeting.
It is concrete, it's not dirt, isn't it?
Yeah, concrete.
I wanted to ask you one other thing too. What about the restrooms? Does the Kingdom Halls there have indoor restrooms?
No, they have outhouses. They're holes in the ground.
You mean John's is what we call them here?
I don't know.
Well, that's what we outside the wooden shed. Yeah. Are they clean?
Yeah.
I thought you told me certain one sisters would go out and really try to keep those clean.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope so. I'd hire Judy myself. Okay, that's great. But we there again, we take for granted. We want some water. We need to go to the restroom. We run right back there and get it. And if we get hot, we turn the air conditioner up or whatever down. So, what a privilege to find out in other parts of the world. This brother looks like he's happy. I'm sure. Is he a brother? What's he doing?
So this is Chanasa. Rodney studied with him 14 years ago, and he became a regular pioneer, and then he went to Bethel, he got married, and now he's special pioneering with his wife. And so I got the chance to be able to stay with them for a week and get to know their group, because it's not a congregation yet, but he's the only brother, so he's the only elder. So he does every part on the meeting, so whether it's the Theocratic Ministry School service meeting, he does all the field service groups during the week, and then Sunday comes, he does the public talk and the watchtower. And he does that every week. He also lives a 45-minute bike ride from his house. And they don't meet in Kingdom Hall, they meet in a school. So he carries his one microphone and his one speaker on his bike with all his literature, and he'll ride 45 minutes to the Kingdom Hall with all that, unload it, and then he brings it all back home with him every meeting. Wow,
Brother Pojak, you ready to go over there and take that assignment? That's something there again we take for granted. But did this fine brother that Brother Smith and Heather studied with, did they have anything to say that we could bring here to the attention of the Smiths back home?
No, but that Elvis record he has in his hand, he has a record but no record player.
Oh, it is an Elvis record.
And Rodney introduced him to rock and roll.
I believe Brother Smith says he knows 2 songs, and that's Elvis and Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. I guess they're rocking chair days. Anyway, country music moved a few miles away, huh? What about that? What about this last picture here?
This one's my favorite. So we were walking in the fields one day with Devota, Chanasa's wife, and there was this little baby, this little grandmother that was standing out there.
Is she a witness?
No, she's just a random person. So I asked her what she was doing, and she said, "They eat my corn, so I eat them." And she had her slingshot out, and the bird went straight to the ground, and she picked it right up and took it home.
That sounds like Annie Oakley here. Well, Jamie, I'm sure you brought a lot of memories back, and I'm sure the friends would like to. I know the family and Brother Smith and some of them has had a chance, and Beasley's to hear more about your experiences, but I'm sure the rest of the congregation sometime would like to ask you more. So maybe you can talk to them individually. And I thought it was interesting. Brother Smith helped me with this. He said, instead of using your life when you got out of high school chasing sports or higher education or even the boys, that you dedicated your life to Jehovah, and at this time that's full time, and you've shown that by being all over the world, and Jehovah's blessed you by going to these places, and I'm sure they'll remember you and you'll remember the experiences, and it's a blessing for us, and especially for me and Granny, to be a part of your family. We love you, and I'm sure the congregation does too. We thank you for the experiences, and keep up the good work. Now let's find a brother that came from that edit, Brother Cabrera. How did we